So the Nintendo Switch Online just launched, and it's just as disappointing as everyone anticipated. The sad thing is, I activated my 7-day free trial, and I still feel ripped off. It's that stupid. Because it doesn't feel any more special playing online. The NES games that are included aren't even really that fun, and a fucking calculator at this point can basically run an NES game anyway, so it's nothing special there. The sad thing is, they could have even launched with SNES games included, and the odds are the online service would still suck. You don't get any special reason to buy it other than playing online, really. There aren't no special offers other than you're able to buy the permission to buy NES controllers for the Switch. And then later on, you'll be getting in October some Splatoon 2 gear if you purchase a year membership, which the gear doesn't even look that good, anyways. But beyond that, there's just no reason to purchase Nintendo Switch Online. Even if the trial was longer and there were multiple ones, it still feels like you're getting robbed using it. It's just that poor. And of course, Nintendo always tries to hype it up like they're doing us a service, when of course they aren't. Because at least Microsoft and Sony both give us reasons to purchase our online. So we're not just getting the online play. We're of course getting free games, which I see there's a possibility that Nintendo might actually start doing that, because since the NES library is counted as unlisted under software included with Nintendo Online, there's a good chance that could be them preparing for, well, not that good of a chance, but there's a possibility that could be something that they can utilize in the future and give us some freebies, though it's not likely that they'll do it, which isn't surprising because it's Nintendo. They just never really give anything away for free. The thing is, it's literally just permission to do something that you've already been able to do since the launch, and they're throwing in not even good NES games. Mind you, I was never too much a fan of the NES anyways. I was always a fan of like the Super Nintendo and up, but even the NES games they do have, they're just not that good. And not necessarily the games themselves are the thing that isn't good, but yeah, there are some that aren't that bad at games. There are some that are good. There's some that are even defined the NES, but the quantity of those games just isn't justifiable for the $20 a year price. I don't know, it's just Nintendo needs to add more to it. Like how Microsoft and Sony have their great deals and like deals with gold, where games that are on sale exclusively to subscribers. But what Nintendo could do is, I'm not saying they should make it so that all game sales are exclusive to Nintendo Online subscribers, because that would just be taking away even more and pissing off the community more. But what I think they should do is do also like what Microsoft does, where subscribers get an even steeper discount of games, meaning that they'll have to actually discount games even further, which I know Nintendo and probably the publishers of these games wouldn't be up for that. But like, they've got to give more incentive, more value for the money. Think about it this way. Nintendo, when it comes to value for your money, they usually you could say that they're number one, considering when you look at the prices of their games new and used, how very rarely they'll, number one, how very rarely new games will actually go on sale, and two, how very little those games will actually be discounted for, and how long it takes for them to get discounted, and three, how still expensive used Nintendo games are. So if Nintendo wants to keep that sort of value for your money, they need to not only have that value where the games are, but have that value with their online service. Getting back to the games that they offer, NES itself just isn't cutting it. I mean, personally for me, this is just for me, but they could honestly offer the whole library of NES games right off the bat. And to me, I still don't think that that'd be of any real sort of value because, like I said, a freaking not a toaster, but the actual piece of toast itself could run an NES game. So what's the big whoop with that? I mean, we need to at least get up to SNES and maybe on in the future Nintendo 64. I mean, I know N64 emulation's a bit more difficult, but they've done it before. Nintendo has done it with their own way. So I know that they could do it with a Switch. Hell, if they could even get up to maybe GameCube or even Wii emulation, that would be that would totally justify 100% the online subscription price. That would well beyond justify the subscription price. But right now, sitting here with just some NES games, it just isn't cutting it. Because honestly, right now, Nintendo Switch is basically my main platform that I play on. I used to main Xbox One for years until I got a Switch, and I slowly started migrating over there. And the main games that I do play on there, like Payday 2 and Splatoon 2, are online games. So, of course, I'm going to have to pay into this once my trial's over. But if it wasn't for how much I liked, if it wasn't for how cheap it is, then I'd honestly say I'm switching back to playing on the Xbox One because at least on there, not only do I get free games, but I actually get my Xbox Live Gold for free because I use Microsoft Rewards, so I get free Xbox Live Gold every month. Thus, I get free games, free discounts, and free online on there. Nintendo ain't got nothing like that. The most they got is, a little bit of a discount on online membership using gold coins, yet unless you've really been stacking those suckers up, then it ain't free. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Nintendo Switch. I love it enough that earlier today was the first time I even touched my Xbox One in months because I've started basically just playing the Nintendo Switch and I want to see it succeed. And I know it's only it hasn't even been a day since the service started, so there's always room for them to make changes in the future, but changes do need to happen. And even though it's only the first day of the online service being active, it's not excusable for the state that it's currently in. I know that the Nintendo likes to be in their own world, but they're nowhere near their rivals, the competitors, anywhere. The things that they're offering, Microsoft and Sony has already had vastly superior for a much longer amount of time. And Nintendo needs to Nintendo needs to step it up. They need to get on Microsoft and Sony's level. They need to get matched up with the Xbox and PlayStation at least somewhat. They need to start improving these services. I mean, they're already behind on the cloud storage because of not all games being included with that because they stupidly decided, hey, let's have the leaderboard stats and online progression saved locally on your system. I mean, who does that? Seriously, what was Nintendo thinking? But beyond that, they need to find a solution for that. Number one, they need to find a solution for their cloud storage. I mean, if they don't find something for the games that are currently out, then they need to do something for all future release titles to ensure something like this never happens again. And as for special offers, they need to go beyond just giving you the ability to spend more money to buy special items for the Switch, like NES Joy-Cons, NES controllers. They need to find some sort of alternative for what Microsoft and Sony are doing with PlayStation Plus games and games with gold, which I know that they're not going to do that, especially with their own first party games, because those are what make them money and those things retain value for so many years, unlike Microsoft and Sony exclusive games that drop value anywhere from even within less than a year of release. But they need to find some sort of alternative beyond just simple NES games and maybe even just SNES games. Even if it's offering some of their older but not too old games free, that would be a wonderful alternative. And Nintendo just needs to step it up. That is all. Anyways, I think I've gone on for long enough. I'll just end this by saying that I really hope that Nintendo is listening to the community's outrage on this, and I hope they take some notes and do whatever they can to try to please the community better and give them value for their dollar. This has been Warstar C on the Game Clips channel, and I'm out.